بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف وجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره. We start with the discussion about the concept of existence or wujud, mafhum wujud, the concept of being or existence. In Arabic we say wujud, in Farsi we say hasti. Have you heard hasti? In English there are two terms, being and existence. The reason we say this is discussion about concept of wujud because we have another discussion later about haqiqatul wujud, about the reality of existence. Right now we are talking about the concept, and the concept is something in the mind, something for understanding. Reality of existence is an objective external fact. Okay. The first thing about concept of being or existence is that it is self-evident. Alhamdulillah, you have studied mantiq. And in mantiq you realized, you were introduced to different types of concepts. We said some concepts are badihi, some are nazari, self-evident and speculative. So there are concepts that are badihi, self-evident. You don't need to define them. They are clear. There are some which are nazari, speculative. It means that you have to define them. And then if you remember, we said we have two types of definition. Anyone remembers? Two types of definition. Had and rasm. And each of them can be tam or naqis. Had can be complete or incomplete, and rasm can be complete or incomplete. But these are all different types of definition. And definition is needed for something which is nazari, which is speculative. But something which is badihi, self-evident, it doesn't need definition, and sometimes you cannot bring definition. Okay? So now the question is, does the concept of existence need definition? The answer is no. It doesn't need definition. It's self-evident. Every person knows what is existence, or in Arabic, what is wujud, what is mawjud. Wujud means existence, mawjud means existent. Hasti in Farsi, everyone knows. Even a child, understands what is existence, what is non-existence. For example, you see a child is crying. Why are you crying? My toy, Nist, is not here. So understand, has, Nist, existence, non-existent, even a child understands. Yeah? And if you want to define the concept of existence, it's not possible, because what is more obvious, what is clearer than existence? Some theologians try to define existence by saying existence or wujud means thubut al-dhat. Thubut al-dhat. But thubut al-dhat is not clearer than wujud. So existence means hasti, wujud. Thubut al-dhat means, for example, the fact that the essence of something is reality, something like this. It's more difficult. Indeed, we say this is not definition, this is just sharhul ism. You are bringing another term instead of the term that you want to introduce. For example, if someone says, what is bird? You say bird is tail. Tayr in Arabic, or parande in Farsi. Tayr. Okay, this is not definition. Definition is to bring either had or rasm. Had is to bring jins or fasl. You know all this. I don't need to repeat mantiq, huh? You remember mantiq? So had is jins and fasl. There are two parts. One is general, one is differential. For example, we say al-insanu haywanun natiqun. Haywan is jins, general. Natiq, differential, fasl. But if you say bird means tayr, this is not jins and fasl. If you say wujud means subut al-dhat, it's not had, because you are not brought jins and fasl. And rasm, what is rasm? Rasm means that instead of bringing jins and fasl, you may bring jins and one of the things that can be taken as a characteristic of these things. For example, al-insanu haywanun dhahikun. Human being is an animal which smiles, which laughs. Dhihk, the ability to laugh, is not differential, is not essential. Natiq is essential, but this is an implication. In the past, they had this idea that only human beings get excited and surprised and laugh. But I think now they say even some monkeys laugh.
The hyenas laugh.
Pardon?
The hyenas laugh.
Hyenas.
Hyenas, yeah, they laugh before attack the other animal.
But maybe that's another type of laugh. But because when you laugh, for example, when someone says a joke, why do you laugh? Because there is an element of surprise. When you are not surprised, like if you have heard a joke many times, you don't laugh. Yeah? If you have heard a joke many times, you don't laugh. There must be something in the joke that is unexpected. It's a surprise for you. So, therefore they say, insan, haywanun, muta'ajjib, is an animal that can be surprised and is an animal that can laugh. Okay? Anyway, to be an animal that can laugh or can be surprised is not had, because you have jins and not fast. You have jins and lazim, one of the characteristics. Or sometimes you don't even bring jins, just you bring the characteristics. What is insan? What laughs? You have studied this rasm, yeah? Rasm can be different types. Anyway, wujud has no had or rasm. Neither there is a good definition by bringing jins and fast, nor a kind of definition which is a secondary definition, and that is by mentioning some of the characteristics of human beings which are exclusive to them. So, the same way that if someone says bird means tayr, means parande. If someone says wujud is subutu dhat, it's the same. You are just changing terms. You're bringing synonyms. It's not definition. And if you want to be more, accurate, you can say there are two particular reasons here, in addition to everything we said, why wujud cannot be defined. In addition to everything that we said. One is wujud is basit. Basit, simple. It doesn't have the possibility of being divided into jins and fasl. Because wujud cannot have any compound. Can you imagine wujud has 2 parts or 3 parts? What can be part for wujud? Opposite to wujud is non-existence. So can you say wujud has two parts and they are, for example, non-existence and something else? No. Can you say wujud can be part of a combination like wujud and non-existence? No. Wujud has no part and doesn't become partner for any combination. Okay, so you can not have any definition for wujud because it doesn't have any part. It's simple, it's basit, it's not compound. Also, there is nothing more general than wujud. For definition, you need to bring a general concept. For example, for defining human beings, you bring animal. Animal is very general, includes all different types of animals, including human beings. So you bring genera, gens, which is animal, and then you exclude other types of animals by bringing differentia. So haywan brings all animals, excludes non-animals, but brings all animals, and then natiq excludes other animals. But what is more general than existence that can be used as a genera? There is nothing more general than existence. Okay? So there is no way for defining wujud. Wujud is very obvious, very clear. It's a self-evident concept, and everyone understands it. If you want to define it, you will just make it more complicated, and it's not going to work. The second discussion. This discussion takes some time, and I need your attention. This is about اشتراك مفهوم وجود, or in Arabic, like if you go to بداية الحكمة نهاية الحكمة, في أن الوجود مشترك معنوي. This discussion is about the concept of wujud being a term that has one meaning, but different types. مشترك معنوي. Let me remind you of something that we discussed in usul al-fiqh, we discussed in mantiq. In both usul al-fiqh and mantiq, if you remember, we said we have sometimes مشترك لفظي, sometimes we have مشترك معنوي. Sometimes one term is designated for one meaning, another time for another meaning. Up to 70 meanings can be there, like عين. عين is مشترك لفظي, because it can mean gold, it can mean silver, it can mean spring, it can mean a spy, it can mean eye, it can mean many things. But each of these meanings are separate from each other. For each of these meanings, the term has been designated separately. Okay? Or we said shir in Farsi. Shir can be milk, shir can be lion, shir can be tap, water tap. شیر شیر آب شیر آب را ببند شیر خوردنی. I told you the poem, yeah? آن یکی شیر است اندر بادیه وان یکی شیر است اندر بادیه. آن یکی شیر است آدم میخورد وان یکی شیر است آدم میخورد. One is the milk that eats human beings, one is the milk that human beings eat. One is the milk in the desert, one is the milk in the bowl. But badiyah can be in Arabic, in Farsi. Plain desert, it can mean a container for soup and drink. So, shir is mushtarak lafzi. Ain is mushtarak lafzi. But sometimes you have mushtarak ma'navi, which means the same term with the same meaning for which it has been designated can be applied to different instances. Different instances. These are not different meanings. For example, you can use the term human being for Zayd, for Amr, for Bakr, for many people. These are all human beings. But these are not different meanings for human beings. These are different instances of a common meaning. You can say water to bottled water. You can say water in river, water in the spring, water in the taps, water in the pipes. They are all water, but not as different meanings. It's not like sheer. It's like any general universal concept that can have different individuals, different instances. Okay, this is اشتراك لفظی and اشتراك معنوی. Now the question is this. Is the concept of existence مشترک لفظی in the sense that it has been designated separately for different types of beings, or it is مشترک معنوی, it has only one meaning but different types? Some people had the idea that it is مشترک لفظی, and these people by themselves are divided. This is not in the book. You can take note. Those who say wujud is مشترک لفظی, they have different opinions. Some say there are two meanings for wujud. One is necessary being, one is contingent being. When wujud is used for God, this is one meaning. When wujud is used for contingent beings, for mumkinat, it is another meaning. These two are separate. Because one is necessary being, is our originator, our creator, not caused, uncaused cause. The other one is contingent, limited, created, caused, effect. So they said there are two meanings. Is it مشترك لفظي or معنوي? لفظي. Some people have gone further. They said, no, we have more than two meanings. One meaning is wujubul wujud. Wajibul wujud, necessary being, is one meaning. But then among the contingent beings, for every mahiyya, its wujud corresponds to that mahiyya. So for human beings, for horse, for monkey, for donkey, for fish, for birds, for flowers, for sand, for water, for everything which has mahiyya, there is a meaning for existence which is different from other types of beings. So there are millions of meanings for existence. Okay, so there are two views. Our view is that no. The concept of wujud, the concept of existence, has only one common meaning. But it can be used for different instances. When you say insan, you can use it for a child, you can use it for a teenager, you can use it for a young person, you can use it for a middle-aged person, you can use it for an old person. It can be used for all of them. For men and women. For Western and Eastern. People who live, people who have died, people of now or future or past. All of them can be called insan. Insan is mushtarak ma'nawi. It's not that when you use insan for men or women, you use it in different meanings, different senses. No, it's one sense, different instances. We believe that mafhum al-wujud, the concept of existence, has one meaning: to be, opposite to not to be, opposite to adam, opposite to non-existence. We can say God exists, we can say human beings exist, we can say animals exist, we can say birds exist, river, water, air, all exist. The same concept. But the reality to which this concept belongs is different. When you say human beings, does it mean that all human beings are equal? We have sometimes among human beings prophets, we have imams, we have ordinary people, we have bad people, we have vicious people. They are all called insan. When you say water, water has different types. It can be water of London, it can be water of Manchester, It can be water of, I don't know, Highland in Scotland. It can be water which is salty. Many, many different types of water. They are not the same, but all of them are called water. One meaning. Different types, different realities. Okay? So, wujud is one common concept which has different types. Although there is great difference between us and God. Yes, no one doubts it. But when we say God is mawjud and human beings are mawjud, what we mean by mawjud is the same. When you say God exists or this person exists, the meaning of exist is the same. We know their existence is different, but that has nothing to do with the term exist. Is it clear? Like water, when you say this is water, ocean is water, it's different, but the meaning of water is the same. So, mafhumul wujud mushtarakun lafziyun or ma'naviyun. Mushtarakun ma'naviyun. Ma'navi, why we say ma'navi? Ma'navi is mansubun ila al-ma'na. Means about meaning. Means they are common in meaning. Lafzi means they are common only in term, like sheer. Sheer, when it's lion or it's milk, the only thing that is common is the lafz. The meaning is different. Ma'navi means the meaning is the same. Of course, lafz is the same, but also meaning. Ma'navi here means something about meaning. Ma'navi sometimes means spiritual. Ma'navi sometimes means moral. But here ma'navi means something about meaning. Okay? So, this is about ishtiraku mafhum al-wujud. Then the author says, we don't need to argue for this. It's very obvious. We don't need to argue for this. But there have been arguments developed by some people. We don't want to call them arguments, but they called it argument. Because these are indeed tanbih. These just asking you to go back to your fitrah, asking you to go back to your way of understanding these concepts. It's like just awakening, a kind of wake-up call, a kind of awakening, a kind of like pardon? Yeah, a kind of notice for you. The first thing, is it okay? Do you want break 5 minutes or I can carry on? Can I carry on? If I can carry on 20 minutes, maybe then inshallah I can finish. The first argument. Wujud can be divided. Again, as you remember in mantiq, one of the things that we have in mantiq is taqsim, division. You remember? We have maqsam, we have aqsam, we have qasim. Can I use whiteboard? Okay. Maybe if you can stop this. Because I want you to completely understand. So, the first argument that some people have developed is that the concept of wujud, the concept of existence, can become maqsam. It means that it can be divided into two parts or more. And anything that can be divided into different parts, it means that it includes all those parts. It means that it is a common, a general concept. So, it's one meaning, but different types, different individuals, different instances. You say, for example, haywan, animal, is either natiq, like human beings. They speak, which means they think, because logos, although it can mean to speak, but indeed it means to think. To think is the main thing. Thinking animal and animals that don't think. So it means that animal is general and can include both. So now when we say wujud is either بالقوة or بالفعل, potential or actual, ذهني or خارجي, mental or external, ممكن or wajib, contingent or necessary, it means that the mafhum, the concept of wujud is common, is general, and it can be applied to different types, but one meaning, مشترك معنوي.
Could I ask a question, please?
Yes.
See, a lion can think when he wants to attack an animal, but
No.
he doesn't speak. So it's
Lion doesn't think.
when he wants to attack an animal, he's learning how to
No,
attack.
doesn't think. Acts by instinct.
I just instinct.
And this is why they have not developed any science, any skills over years. If they were thinking and if they were conscious of the way they react, they should have developed over time. Second argument. Please listen carefully to the second argument, because it's a very subtle point here. Suppose that there is a doubt whether concept of wujud is mushtarak lafzi or ma'nawi. We said there is no doubt. We said it's badihi. But suppose there is a doubt. Because some people said wujud has two meanings, or wujud has many meanings, as we explained. Suppose. But has anyone said that Adam, non-existence, also has many meanings? No. When you think of non-existence, it doesn't have many types. Because non-existence has no types. We have a rule in philosophy, inshallah you learn later. لا ميز في الأعدام من حيث العدم. Another thing that you might be asked in grave. لا ميز في الأعدام من حيث العدم. There is no difference between different types of non-existence as far as non-existence is concerned. Adam has no different types. Yes, you can say Adamul Kitab and Adamul Qalam. If you attribute non-existence to an existence, then these non-existences become different. Because it's non-existence of book, non-existence of pen. Then these two types of non-existence are different. But non-existence by itself is non-existent and has no different types. لا ميز في الأعدام من حيث العدم. I can write it for you. Maze means distinction. Tamiz, tamayuz. Have you heard tamiz, tamayuz? La ميزة or ميز في الأعدام من حيث العدم. There is no distinction.
Can you put the white frame here?
Yes.
Some pieces I cannot see.
Maybe a little bit. Can you see?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah.
Can you read it first, please?
Yes, I can.
Now,
لا ميزة أو لا ميزة في الأعدام من حيث العدم. There is no distinction between different non-existence, types of non-existence, as far as non-existence is concerned. It means that if you want to make them distinct from each other, you have to attribute them to existence. For example, you say Adamul Kitab. Adamul Kitab is different from Adamul Qalam. Non-existence of a book is different from non-existence of a pen. Why? Because book is different from pen. Otherwise, non-existence is the same. Okay? So, even if some people have doubted that the concept of existence is mushtarak ma'nawi, they have not doubted that the concept of Adam is mushtarak ma'nawi.
Sorry.
Adam has one meaning. Yes.
Sir, the concept of no existence also could be imply the concept of existence. I don't know if it's like by do not exist itself is a reason for trying to figure out why do not exist.
Yeah. So this is for people to refer to their conscience and their knowledge of language. If someone refers to the concept of non-existence in English or Adam in Arabic and Farsi, do you sense any distinction in Adam, or Adam is Adam? When we say God is mawjood and we are mawjood, you say, I doubt whether mawjood means the same or not. Okay. First of all, we don't accept this, but suppose we say, okay. But if we say A is ma'doom, B is ma'doom, and A is a human being, B is a horse, does ma'doom make difference? No, it's the same. It's non-existent. So, if non-existence, which is opposite to existence, which is contradictory, is naqiz for existence, is the same, so existence must be the same. Let me write for you on board. For example, we say al-insan mawjudun, al-faras mawjud. We believe that mawjud in both cases is used in the same sense. Okay? You say no. For every mahiyya it can be different, or you say for wajibul wujud and mumkinat can be different. So we say, okay, let's come from the opposite side, non-existence. If we say al-insan ma'dumun, al-faras ma'dumun. For example, we say here, over there, we don't have horse, we don't have human being. Okay? So, this ma'adum and this ma'adum, are they the same or they are different? They are the same. Ma'adum is non-existent. So, if ma'adum is the same, opposite to this, which is this, and opposite to this, which is this, should be the same. Because two opposites of the same thing must be the same. If A is opposite to B, C is also opposite to B, so means A and C are the same. Otherwise, you would have three things. And this is irtifa'un naqizayn. When there are two contradictory things, either this exists or the other one, you cannot have three options. So if A is contradictory to B, and C is contradictory to B, so means A and C are the same. Okay? Now you are enjoying philosophy. Huh? But still this is not philosophy, still this is mantiq. Yes. Yes.
Is this the same concept as naqiz mutasawiyayn?
Yes.
So they are total opposite.
Naqizun. Okay.
So that was the term which you said in the beginning, naqir.
Yes.
For this example, yeah?
So the second argument is this, that wujud and adam are naqiz, means they are opposite, means contradictory. Naqiz means, because again you studied in mantiq, we have taqabul, and taqabul has different types. It can be tazad, it can be adamu malake, it can be tanaquz. Here we have tanaquz, contradictory. Wujud and adam are contradictory. And if someone has doubt about wujud being mushtarak ma'nawi, he has no doubt about Adam being mushtarak ma'nawi. So when we have Adam for one wujud and Adam for another wujud, and Adam is the same, so those wujud which are opposite must be the same. This is mubahisa. If you didn't understand, mubahisa. The third argument. If third argument is easier but still needs attention. If the meaning of wujud for example, mahiya was different. For example, when it is used for human beings is different from when it is used for horse. Okay? If it was different. When I see from distance a vague picture and I say there is a human being, when it comes closer, I see this is an animal. When I used to say هناك إنسان, or there is a human being which exists there, and now say there is an animal which exists there, does it mean that the same concept of mawjud can be used, or you have to totally erase from your head what you said and replace another thing? If wujud is the same, then you don't need to erase everything from your mind. You just change the detail. Say, this mawjud, you thought it's a horse, or it's a bear, or animal. Now say it's a human being. But the same concept of mawjud you can use. It's not that mawjud has to be changed every time that you change the mahiyya. Beautiful argument. Yes? So, if you use the concept of existence for one type of being, thinking that that type exists, and then you realize that another type exists, you don't need to withdraw totally from what you said and say, what I said exists is non-existent. No. You said, yes, there was a being, I thought that being is animal, but now I see that being is a human being. But you can say it's being. So, this is the third argument. All these three arguments, as I said, indeed they are not arguments, because we don't need arguments. These are to awaken, to reactivate the knowledge that we have in our mind about the clarity of the concept of wujud. It's self-evident concept. Okay, this chapter finishes. Then we go to the next chapter, which is about the difference between the concept of existence and the reality of existence. The concept can be in your mind or my mind, but the reality is what exists in the real world. Of course, there are certain things that the reality is the mind, but not as concept. That's another issue, because there are things that their reality is in the mind. Like, for example, doubt. Doubt, its reality is the mind. So the reality of doubt is in the mind, and the concept of doubt is also in the mind. But water, the concept in the mind, the reality is outside. Human beings, the reality is outside, the concept is inside. Okay? So this is something that inshallah we discuss next week. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.